Where should this story begin? With the introduction of invalidity benefit in 1971? The creation of the modern welfare state in 1948? Perhaps the Liberals' welfare reforms of the early 1900s, or the Elizabethan poor laws of 1598 and 1601, which required all parishes to provide a minimum level of support for those in need. Maybe it should begin with the Poor Law Amendment Act of 1834, which was based on the principle that life for those relying on state welfare should be unpleasant, and should be seen by potential claimants to be unpleasant. Even so, from the start of the 20th century through the development of Labour's post-war welfare state and until the 1980s, there was a gradual move towards providing all citizens with security from the cradle to the grave. But during the 1980s, this principle came under attack from Margaret Thatcher's Conservative government, and attention eventually turned to disabled people. It is here, then, that this story begins, as civil servants, politicians, and the private sector start to question how they can pick away at the threads of the safety net. Early in 1989, Secretary of State for Social Security John Moore sends a memo to John Major, Chief Secretary to the Treasury. I think it would be sensible to discuss the general approach to disability benefits. Both of us have acknowledged the need to tackle the rise in expenditure on these benefits, but also that we can hardly ignore the Office of Population Censuses and Surveys, disability surveys. I enclose a paper which presents our conclusions about how to handle this, with a package of proposals hewn from a mass of work over the last year or so. Politically, the context in which the surveys were commissioned and the results they now provide leave us no choice but to put forward a package offering long-term savings tempered by some benefit improvements in the interim. For me, the key issue is not whether we adopt a package such as proposed in the attached paper, but when. Moore would be replaced as Social Security Secretary months later by Tony Newton.